Welcome, everyone, to the groundbreaking 25th Chugcratic Seminar. I am your host, the headmaster of the School of Athenia, K Catastrophe. I'm joined by two of my very esteemed colleagues and very good friends, the first of which, the Dean of Critique, Runestone.
I blame Sunstorm for the UK heatwave.
And the Dean of Economics, G1 Scorponok.
How's it going, folks?
Unfortunately, the Dean of Fabrication, definitely not Char, is taking a leave of absence this week. So, gentlemen, how has your day been?
Well, it's been good. It's been nice, slow, quiet day, just getting stuff done, trying to get ready for TFCon.
Indeed. This is episode number 25, though for you, Scorponok, I guess it would be like episode 2 or something.
I think like 3 or 4, maybe. I think.
Are we counting minisodes? Anyway, this has been quite a journey. I think it's been like almost 2 years since we started this show. Is that right? Maybe more.
Well, it started like late 2023.
Ooh. And we've only made 25 of these things. That's on me. Anyway, today we have a very interesting topic today. We won't be talking toys for once. Instead, we'll be talking about various cartoon episodes from the various Transformers series. So yeah, we're talking media today. Isn't that exciting? We rarely do that.
There's probably something we should do more often.
Perhaps. Something I should probably do more often is actually engaging with the media.
That's a fair point. I don't really engage with this much either anymore, especially now I've jumped to like Tokusatsu and Mecha, but especially Kamen Rider.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm fully out of my my yearly Kamen Rider phase. I have not kept up with sets whatsoever.
This is kind of I won't get in the weeds of it, but like I feel like it's just kind of okay. Like it has its high moments, but then it just kind of peters out after a while.
Yeah. But as ever, we start these off with recent purchases. Does anyone want to play show and tell, share with the class?
Well, Transformers I didn't really buy much. Just mostly just got in my Fans Toys Mixmaster. So I'm 5 out of 6 on Devastator, and then other than that, I did order a bunch of rider belts. So I got the Desire driver, the Gamer driver, and then the Forza driver. And then a couple of the pieces for those, not many. And then for Gunpla, I got a couple. I went to the Gundam base pop-up in Orlando and grabbed the Alzeus, the high-grade Alzeus, and then a master grade Gundam base colored Grandpa Gundam 3.0. And then I also ordered, because I wanted to build like a bit of a halfway shelf, so I ordered the Z Gundam, and then the Messer, like the Gauman Messer.
Yeah. It's all pretty cool. Runestone, how about you? What have you gotten? Have you gotten anything?
Nothing.
Oh. Santa Chug has not been kind to you, I suppose. I haven't gotten that much, but what I have gotten are 2 pretty substantial toys. Most recently, I got Missing Link Delta Magnus, who, as far as the inner robot goes, is probably my absolute favorite use of that mold. Just that blue and black color scheme looks so nice.
You mean Missing Link Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus?
No.
Dang.
And after that, I got Age of the Primes Onslaught. And currently I have him in combined mode, just without either of the leg bots. So he looks a little weird. A little top heavy, but he's pretty cool. I like him. I like him a lot. So yeah, how about we crack on with today's topic? Like I said, we'll be talking about some of the more noteworthy episodes in Transformers television history, both foreign and domestic. Though I guess in Rune's host's case, it would just be foreign and foreign.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 4 categories. We have standout episodes. We have our guilty pleasure episodes, favorite and least favorite. The first topic today will be standout episodes. Does anyone want to volunteer to go first, or shall we just go in the order that the presentation is in?
It doesn't matter. It's totally up to y'all.
All right. In that case, I am up first, and my standout episode was Thirst from, I believe, season 3 of Transformers Prime. And I picked this one because it's, a bit unique. It's like your general zombie apocalypse sort of episode. Breakdown gets infected with Dark Energon and goes crazy and shit. And it's a nice. I know Prime can be one of the more tonally darker shows in Transformers, but this one is especially leans into the more horror-y elements of the premise, and I think it's a very unique episode.
Sorry to interrupt you, Kit, for a moment. Just to warn you all, given what we're discussing, naturally, there will be spoilers. So you have been warned.
Oh yeah, Breakdown fucking dies, and then he gets reanimated by Silas, and he turns him into a meat puppet, a metal meat puppet, and then Silas fucking dies, and then Breakdown can't catch a fucking break in this show, can he? But yeah, I really didn't have to. I didn't really have a whole lot to say about this one, other than it's just neat that there's a zombie episode.
Well, I guess I could take over a little bit because this is actually one of my favorite episodes from Transformers Prime. One thing I'm not even sure you realized is the fact that this is one of the very few episodes in the entire franchise that is pretty much Decepticon-centric with no Autobot presence whatsoever.
Yeah, that Ratchet screenshot is from some other episode. I just put it in there because he's screaming. That was for the viewers' benefit.
But yeah, I really like this episode for the zombie atmosphere that you brought up. The banter between Starscream and Knockout, it's pretty funny. Watching them bicker like either an old married couple or some school kids fighting. Take your pick. I will say that it is sort of a breather episode from the main plot line going on in the show at that point. But I wouldn't necessarily call this a good jumping on point because it does follow up on a lot of plot threads in the show. Like you already brought up the whole breakdown Silas thing, but there's also the synthetic energon, which Knockout has been experimenting on. And Starscream has the absolute genius idea to mix it with Dark Energon in order to give Megatron a quote-unquote super soldier that he can control. And boy, did it fuck up royally.
It was a good idea on paper.
Oh, and another spoiler warning. Arachnid at this point is trapped in a stasis pod until the zombified Silas breakdown breaks it and sets her free.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this actually doesn't amount to anything because Arachnid attempts to stage a coup against the Decepticons, but Soundwave teleports her to one of Cybertron's moons, which is a pretty stupid location to send her to, in my opinion. And it's revealed that during her scuffle with the zombified Silas, she herself was infected, and the episode ends with her feasting on her her Insecticon army, and that's the last we see of her.
Yeah, she just has a moon empire.
Like, I think she may have been intended to show up in the Predacons Rising epilogue movie, but that obviously didn't come to pass.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were probably also hoping that she'd return in Robots in Disguise 2015. Nope.
I mean, in my opinion, that show barely counts as a sequel anyways, no matter how many times they bring Prime characters back. I see it as spiritually different, so it doesn't matter.
Sorry if I don't have too much to say on this one. I didn't really watch that much of Prime growing up because I was kind of stuck up and didn't really care so much about Prime, the old man in me, if you will.
I mean, I didn't. I ended up watching the show like to completion like a few years after it actually ended. So
I might just do that because I had a kind of a similar arc with animated where I didn't like it when it came out, and then I like rewatched it, and I actually liked it a lot more after the rewatch.
My thing with animated was just it was never on when I was watching TV. That's the problem with all of these Transformer shows is like when I was a kid, they were never on at a time when I was watching TV. Like they were always on at like fucking 5 a.m. or some shit like that, or like 2 p.m. when I'm at school. So,
I just liked when I was growing up that G1 and Beast Wars were on Netflix. So it was really easy to binge all of them.
And when Prime was airing, my parents didn't even have digital TV. It was still just cable.
Back when it was on the hub.
Yeah, we didn't have that channel, so I couldn't watch anyway.
Not sure how that one passed the QC name inspection, but
it was a different time back then.
I guess so.
But yeah, I had to go all the way to my grandparents' 5 hours away to watch it.
God.
Yeah, they had digital. I remember watching like The Master Builders with my dad at like 3 a.m. once. That was a pretty good memory. Anyway, yeah, I don't have a whole lot more interesting things to say about Thirst. I just think it's neat. So yeah, up next is you, G1 Scorponok. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah.
I forgot both of you have control over this thing as well.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, I went for the classic, the Code of Hero from season 2 of Beast Wars. It's Dinobots Blaze of Glory. It's just such an epic episode. It's kind of, the Rat Trap was always doubts Dinobot's loyalty, and he decides to prove it to the rest of the team for once and for all. And then, even though it kind of started as him just trying to kind of prove, just trying to prove something, it really he kind of ends up sacrificing himself for essentially for humanity, for something much greater, because he essentially like single-handedly takes on the entire Predacon team in an amazing blaze of glory. Sorry if I use that word a lot, but it's just extremely accurate, and literally goes down swinging.
We'll see you in Valhalla, brother.
Yeah. It's also kind of tacitly implied that like he kind of teaches humans how to use tools, because like the proto-humans like see him like fashion the hammer to like beat Megatron with. He's like just barely managing to stay alive. But yeah, I just figured this episode had to be on here somewhere.
It really was aliens all along.
Yeah. And it ends the whole Golden Disc saga too. Dinobot destroys the Golden Disc.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's most of what I had. Do y'all have any thoughts?
I'll admit it's been a hot minute since I watched seasons 2 and 3 of Beast Wars, but I do remember the first time I watched this episode. It was pretty emotional. A very, very good send off to Dinobot's character, and honestly, I kind of wish they didn't try the whole Dinobot 2 thing.
Yeah, Dinobot 2 kind of undercut his sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just have him do it again.
Yeah, that was a little rough.
Yeah. But yeah, this was definitely one of the standout episodes of Beast Wars. When people say Beast Wars was an amazing show, this is probably one of those episodes they're picturing in their head.
100%.
I honestly couldn't think of a better pick from this series.
Got any thoughts, Runestone?
I hate this episode. I mean,
dang.
Really, what on earth is Dinobot thinking? You know, charging into battle like that, knowing he could possibly lose his life. Also, Megatron's master plan makes absolutely no sense. You know, destroying humans or anything when he should be focused on destroying the Autobots. Also, no one has any concerns with Dinobot polluting the time stream with.
I thought the argument was that the humans helped the Autobots win. So if
Did you not hear that? Did you not hear that sound effect?
It was a little quiet, but I did.
In all seriousness, though, this is I actively avoided picking this episode like for any of my slides, because this episode has been so critically acclaimed that there is literally nothing I can add to it, honestly. And well, actually, it's not just that, but also I feel talking about this episode just on its own, it's not the complete picture, because as has been brought up already, it is essentially the culmination of one of the best written character arcs in the entire franchise. Like, you get small sprinklings of characterization for Dinobot in season 1, where sure, he defects to the Maximals, but he still very much retains a lot of his Predacon sensibilities. But he does nonetheless have a warrior's code of honor. Then season 2 comes around, and when the truth is revealed about where the Beast Warriors have crash landed, he starts to doubt his own destiny, like his own future. And in doing so, it makes him, it leads to him making a series of choices that, when you really think about it, ultimately cost him his life. He spent so much time concerned about his own future that, well, it pretty much ended his future, in a sense.
Yeah, I really wish Transformers television could get this good again. The whole Beast era is just full of amazing stories and amazing characters, and it was like something of a zenith for the franchise in some respects.
Well, it just helped if they really like trim the cast down considerably compared to the original show, so that
Hmm.
you could really focus. It's each so you could have more time to focus on each character, not have to like shuffle everybody around every other episode just because you have like 50 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Q Ranger also kind of had the issue where you had like so many characters. It was like you kind of had to like they're constantly like rotating characters in and out of the spotlight. Just by that they were mostly just focusing on Lucky. But I digress. But but yeah, that's kind of all I have for this episode.
And the rest is silence. I'm dead.
Good.
Runestone, your standout episode is next. What have you picked to discuss with us?
I take it I'm controlling the slides. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to have to get used to that.
I wanted to give it to you just in case you wanted some sort of dramatic reveal.
I'm good. Right. So, as Transformers cartoons go, Energon is up there with the Machinima and Netflix trilogies as among the most hated. You've heard the complaints countless times. Lifeless CGI, not enough plot to sustain 52 episodes, obnoxious characters, with a dub that's somehow even worse than Armada's. And while Transformers Prime and Earthspark are understandably criticized for missed potential, Energon tops them both in terms of throwing any interesting character and plot developments out the window for seemingly no reason. How could anything from this show be worth talking about beyond its infamy? For that, we have to turn to the Japanese version of the series, Transformers Superlink. The episode we're looking at is titled Return Our Megazarak, or Return Our Scorponok. I'll be using the American names of the cast for convenience. You might ask, why Superlink and not the Energon dub of this episode? Because there was no dub.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, shit. I didn't know you had a whole ass soundboard.
According to Heather Ann Puttock of Voicebox Productions, the company that dubbed for the Unicron trilogy, no official dub of this episode exists. And no one truly knows why. I mean, I've seen this one on YouTube. You can find several uploads of it right now. I understand countries have different standards as to what's acceptable for children's television, but as far as I can see, there's nothing inappropriate here. Puttock theorized that it was because the animation was subpar. I doubt it, considering 1, Armada exists, and 2, outside of maybe a couple underlit scenes, the animation here is par for the course. It's really strange. But, okay, so what? There are probably lots of shows this has happened to. What's the big deal? Well, in skipping Return Our Scorponok, they ended up skipping one of the most pivotal episodes of the whole show. To recap, Energon is set a decade after Armada and centers on the restoration of Unicron. A being named Alpha Q with his army of Terracons aims to achieve this through stealing mass quantities of Energon, which, naturally, the Autobots try to stop. As the series progresses, we learn Alpha Q's true motive, and with the help of the main human character, Kicker Jones, the two sides form an albeit uneasy alliance. The Terracon commander, Scorponok, actually gains something of a hero's worshipper in Ironhide. However, Megatron, who of course wants Unicron's power for conquest, kills, resurrects, and brainwashes Scorponok into servitude. So, after several episodes of trying to remind the revived Scorponok of who he was to no success, it's here where Ironhide realizes, yeah, that's not going to happen, and ultimately vows to defeat him. Part of what influences this decision is how fellow Autobot, Inferno, had previously been tortured and forcibly reprogrammed by Megatron, and while he puts up a good fight, ultimately Inferno purges this Decepticon virus for good by hurling into an Energon sun, practically killing himself. From this, Ironhide concludes that if that's what it takes to break free of Megatron's brainwashing, then Scorponok doesn't stand a chance. Ironhide even brings up Inferno's sacrifice to Scorponok, who dismisses it as pointless. You can guess how Ironhide reacts to that. And this, by the way, this episode, for the record, is where the Decepticons learn that said Energon Sun, the one where Alpha Q resides at this point, is Unicron's head, which obviously ties into the cons trying to restore the Dark God. However, it's the next two details that really get me. So, Alpha Q's backstory is that his homeworld, Planet Q, and all its inhabitants were consumed by Unicron, but not before they set the planet to detonate to try and blow both him along with the rest of the planet.
I wonder where they got the idea.
Sorry, what?
I wonder where they got the idea.
Well, this didn't so much destroy Unicron as much as put him in a state of dormancy. Alpha Q reawoke within the slumbering god, and though driven insane by years of solitude, he gradually learned what Unicron was truly capable of, and using what power remained, Alpha Q recreated his Terracon army, and then had them collect mass quantities of energons so he could control and fully utilize Unicron's powers. Now, in the flashbacks, we see that Scorponok was the planet's Grand Chamberlain, and up until now, we're led to believe that the present-day Scorponok is just the Chamberlain brought back to life. Straight up. However, this episode reveals not quite. The body is visually identical, but it's actually powered with a Decepticon spark found wandering within Unicron, which Alpha Q implanted with false memories. This, my friends, is where they really missed a trick. Spoilers for Armada, but fans have theorized that this spark may have originally been Thrust, since he died on Unicron near the end of that show. Have they actually gone that route? Just think of the possibilities, like perhaps something reawakens Thrust and we could have had an internal struggle between him and the Scorponok persona, like a new take on the Beast Machine's Viacon shell program concept. Or maybe Thrust's memories were never truly altered and he's been playing everyone this whole time. The funny thing is, both Armada Thrust and Energon Scorponok are voiced by Colin Murdoch, though they're played by different actors in Japan. Hell, the spark didn't even have to be Thrust's. It simply being a former Decepticon could explain why Scorponok can't break free from Megatron's control. But it isn't really addressed. And as is, it honestly doesn't feel like this revelation changes much in the grand scheme of things. But wait! There's more. Alpha Q's main objective is to revive Planet Q with Unicron's godly powers. This is the episode in which he finally does it. He even recreates his old palace, hoping it'll trigger some memories in Scorponok and sway him back to his side. It doesn't work, as the palace is trashed and looted for Energon, but you know what this means, right? It means they omitted the entire reason this series even happens. Alpha Q, wanting his homeworld, is what kickstarts the plot of this whole damn show. It's the catalyst for everything. And the English dub, skipping this episode, renders it almost completely pointless. I say almost as Alpha Q does recreate other planets destroyed by Unicron, which we actually do get to see in the dub. But if you were watching Energon when it was first broadcast with no available online sources or access to the Japanese version of the series, you missed out. And what makes it even worse is, one, the English dub of subsequent episodes remove all references to this one, like they were trying to scrub it from existence. And two, spoilers yet again, but a few episodes after, Alpha Q is killed off, meaning in Energon, he died before accomplishing his goal.
What an absolute dumpster fire.
This to me is Energon's biggest fuck up right here. By missing this episode, they created plot holes, downplayed the significance of certain events, and heavily damaged, if not outright destroyed, character arcs. And even if you are watching Super Link instead of Energon, the big twist surrounding Scorponok's creation I don't think was used to its full potential. Combined with the other problems I brought up, you're left with a complete waste of a series. I'm done.
Yeah, Superlink is, and Energon in general, was just like one of those what were they thinking kind of shows. Like, how do you fuck up in so many different ways at the exact same time?
Yeah.
And honestly, there's a lot of really wasted potential in it too, because there's, like you said, there was so much they could have played with or chose to do instead that would have been satisfying or at least interesting. And it's all just one big letdown. We'll get into another episode like that later. But yeah, after everything you've just described, it really, like, even though, extra episode, it still just kind of discourages me from wanting to check out the rest of the series, because it's just like, oh, there's like hardly any payoff. Okay. Why even bother?
Well, yeah, it's not just this episode, but like lots of character arcs that carry over from Armada are ruined here too. Like the whole bit with Starscream's revival, totally gone to waste. He's now a loyal lackey to Megatron.
Well, I thought part of that was because they weren't connected. I thought they weren't connected in the Japanese version. Only the US dub actually connects Armada and connects.
Oh yeah, he is called Night Scream in Super Link, isn't he? I don't actually know. You're putting doubt.
Because I know because it's a trilogy in the U.S., but I know at least like Cybertron or Galaxy Force is like completely unrelated. I don't remember if
Galaxy Force is definitely unrelated. Super Link is still a sequel, but okay. I don't know if Super Link Night Scream is the same guy as Starscream.
But like that example may be debatable, but there's Demolisher's whole thing about his doubts between factions. But in the end, he decides to sacrifice his life for Megatron. And then Megatron ends up reviving him with, either no memories or he just made him considerably dumber so that he doesn't have those pesky doubts.
Yeah. It's just an entire sea of wasted potential.
Yeah.
Well, since talking about this episode seems to have drained us, shall we move to the next one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our next Our next category is guilty pleasure. And my first pick is from Cybertron. And this is something of I guess, a hated episode. It's Collapse. I like it because it's filler, basically. It's filler. But it's just like one of those like slice of life-esque episodes where like the stakes are low and you just get to see what everyone gets to do in their downtime. Uh, and like in a show like Cybertron, I really like that because it is a very plot-heavy show, even if it can drag on a little bit every now and then. But this is like probably like the most fillery episode of the entire series. You could just skip it and not, worry about anything. And it's just kind of fun to see the mini cons hang out with the human characters and see what they get up to whenever they're not, chasing the Decepticons for the cyber keys. This episode was one of the very few that I actually got to watch on television as the show was airing. And for a long time, I thought it was just a story I made up in my head because I wasn't entirely convinced I actually saw it. But then I got the full the DVD box set when I was like a teenager, and I watched through it all over again. And I was like, oh man, I do remember this episode. So it's just it's a very nostalgic episode for me, and I know it. Apparently, this episode got played a lot because of how fillery it is. You don't need any like real knowledge to like understand what's going on in the episode. So, and as I understand it, this episode has a bit of a poor reputation because of that. But I like it. I can watch it 1,000 times and not get sick of it. That's all I had to say. Green gloop.
I can't really comment because Cybertron in general is not a cartoon I'm particularly attached to. There are maybe one or two episodes that I would have picked for the standout category, but if we ever do a follow-up, that might be when I do it.
I like Cybertron growing up. Like I didn't get to see much of it, but I do like I haven't watched it in a long time. It's one of those guys I just need to rewatch.
I feel like this is a recurring problem in this in this podcast episode in particular.
Yeah.
I know there's one episode later on where there's just absolutely, it's the very next 2 slides from now. I'm just not going to be able to say anything about it. Let's move on to the next slide. Next one is Scorponok again. Your guilty pleasure.
Yeah, of course, going with the oldies. Decepticon Raider in King Arthur's Court. This is just a ridiculous episode, but it's like ridiculous in a really fun and goofy way.
Yeah, season 2 of G1 was full of stuff like this.
I do also like how like small the cast is for G1.
Oh yeah.
Like there's only like 4 or 5 actual Transformers in the whole episode. So you actually get to focus on, well, not that it's, again, we're not getting to Beast Wars level, but it's nice to not have like 50 dudes in the lineup. But yeah, it's just some classic isekai goodness this is about what, 2 years after the original isekai, but in Japan, but yeah, it's Starscream and Starscream, Rumble, Ramjet, Warpath, and Hoist all end up discovering some ancient ruin structure that ends up being like a time travel mechanism, and they end up time traveling back to the Middle Ages, the Camelot, and it gets really ridiculous. The best scenes are definitely with as opposed to with where you got Rumble Rumble on top of Ramjet jousting I forget the name. Jousting Warpath and I forget the knight's name, but I should know this. But
Chug-a-lot.
Chug-a-lot. Then they end up. Oh wait, then the other major plot is is this them figuring out how to just making improvised gunpowder and just throwing it everywhere.
Yeah.
It gets really funny at the end where like this wizard guys like they have like to go back to the time like the ruins that said that like the time warp ruins or whatever you call it. There's like a dragon there, and the wizard's like, "Oh yeah, I got this like thing of dragon's bane." He just throws it at us. It's just like gunpowder, essentially just grenades the dragon to go until it runs away. So it's I don't know. It's just it's nothing sophisticated about the episode. It's just kind of a dumb, fun, classic G1 cartoon episode.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the one where Ramjet collects a whole bunch of bird poop, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is the one where Rumble collects a whole bunch of bird poop as an ingredient to the gunpowder.
That's all I really remember of this episode. Oh, I found a screenshot on
there's a whole there's like a picture you can find where it's like just like Rumble just covered in like bird crap.
I'm putting in Chugcratic submissions right now. Unfortunately, as with pretty much everything in this podcast episode, it's been an awful long time since I've actually watched this, but yeah, season 2 of G1 was just full of wacky little side stories like this. Like, just going through the like Trans Europe Express, Hoist Goes Hollywood.
So the one where like Powerglide gets the girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the girl who loved Powerglide.
Yeah.
Don't forget Sea Change.
Oh yeah, Sea Change. I totally forgot Sea Change.
Yeah, there's some great classics.
One of the things I like about this episode is that it actually gives Starscream something of a chance to shine, because, of course, for most of the series, he's just openly and vocally plotting to overthrow Megatron, but Megatron doesn't end up going back in time with the other Decepticons like Starscream, Ramjet, Rumble, and Ravage, I think. And he gets time to shine as something of a commander, and also we see his scientist side in how he's trying to keep the Decepticons energized with what limited resources they had, as well as the whole gunpowder thing with potassium nitrate. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he ends up like improvising this whole dynamo mechanism. He like melts down the night, like one of the knight's like entire like family fortune to make enough gold wiring for an electric dynamo that just has a bunch of enslaved peasants turning a crank so that he could recharge.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am an avid fan of late antiquity, which is when this episode is supposed to take place.
Period wise, this is like completely off.
This is like I don't know, 1400s level armor, and they go back to the year like 530.
Yeah,
Like,
it's something like that, like 526. It's like 1400 armor. You're right, exactly.
yeah, like everyone should be wearing chainmail. I'm not even sure jousting was a thing yet.
Yeah, I don't know if full-on jousting was a thing. Like, cavalry had definitely come on as, like, a thing, but jousting, at least with, like, the full big lances like that, I don't know if that was really a thing.
They gotta fight fucking Hengist and Horsa. That's the episode. They have to stop the Angles and the Saxons.
Spike also ends up falling for the princess, despite supposedly being attracted to Carly at this point in the series.
Imagine
Yeah,
that
he
this
kind of
is
has a
some,
bit of
like,
a 4 moment for anyone familiar with Zeta Gundam, where he like, it's like, oh, yeah, princess, and then kind of it doesn't work out, and then he just kind of has to move on. Oh well.
he did the nasty and the pasty.
The ending is pretty funny too when the Decepticons return to the present day. Megatron, aren't you happy to see us?
Yeah, because I think he like body blocks like Megatron from like getting a shot on somebody, or getting a shot on like Hoist and Warpath as they were getting out of there.
I could have killed the most annoying Autobot. You don't.
But yeah, I think that's about it for what I got.
You absolute fuck up, Starscream.
What do you mean, Megatron? I gave these superhumans the technique of gunpowder and electricity.
So, if we are ready to move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Both Beast Wars 2nd and Neo are generally more light-hearted compared to the original Beast Wars cartoon, which is well reflected in my pick for Guilty Pleasure, Face the Setting Sun. Beast Wars 2nd takes place on the planet Gaia. Basically, it's Earth tens of thousands of years in the future. The show revolves around the Maximals and Predacons landing on the planet, with Galvatron wanting to harvest a powerful energy source called Anglemoir energy. Most of the series is divided into arcs, which revolve around groups of characters, including the space pirate Seacons, who arrive to pillage and plunder the planet of its Anglemoir. One of the show's more infamous elements is the love triangle between the Maximals, Bighorn and Scuba, and the female Seacon, Skilla. Skilla has the hots for Scuba, who does not reciprocate. Instead, it's Bighorn, who's horny for Skilla, who does not reciprocate. In this episode, Bighorn tries to win Skilla's heart with the help of the Jointrons. From what I understand, the Jointrons aren't the most popular characters for reasons akin to Skids and Mudflap, we'll say.
Aren't they like a mariachi band or something?
Sorry, what?
Aren't they like a mariachi band in this version?
No, that's Triple Dacus.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh yeah. You're right. It's Triple Dacus.
Anyways, Bighorn explains his situation, and the Jointrons agree to assist, which he's totally on board with. Surprisingly so, considering the Maximals prior to this barely seemed to tolerate the trio. Plus, the Jointrons are clearly depicted as idiots, but then so is Bighorn to an extent. So, they send a recorded love letter to Skilla, asking her to meet at Tengu Rock. Believing it's from Scuba, she's overjoyed. Upon arriving, well, you can find English subtitled English subtitled uploads of this series. I don't know how accurate they are, but either way, Allow me to read some lines out of context. We don't hold anything against you, young lady, but for how we're about to treat you roughly and against your will, muchas forgive us.
I mean, usually it's the one with the tentacles doing stuff like that in Japanese media.
It's not much better with context, as the Jointrons, dressed as cartoonish villains, stuff Skilla into a sack and take her to a rendezvous point. The idea being that Bighorn rescues her from these villains, thus gaining her love. It fails because the Jointrons are frequently intercepted by either the Predacons or the other Seacons, thus forcing them to change the meeting spot. In addition, when the trio learn their captive is actually one of the space pirates and not a princess, as Bighorn's narrative led them to believe, they abandon the plan and try to turn her over to Maximal Commander Lyle Convoy for credit. This doesn't work out either, as they're intercepted again, and this culminates in Skilla still in the sack, tumbling down a cliff, crushing Bighorn's bouquet.
Oh no!
This angers Bighorn, who, not realizing his crush is inside, headbutts the sack across the island.
Oh no!
This leads to Skilla finally breaking free, and after everything she's been through, she is pissed. By the way, throughout all this, Skilla doesn't think to blast her way out of the bag. Other elements to this episode include Starscream striking a deal with Seacon Captain Halfshell. The Seacons kill the Maximals in exchange for materials to repair their ship. The combined forms of the Jointrons and Seacons, Triple Dacus and God Neptune, duke it out at the climax. And as with all episodes, Artemis and Moon from Gaia's Moon provide their usual commentary in the style of a Greek chorus, without directly interacting with the main cast. I realize simply talking about comedic series and episodes might not do them justice. All I'll say is, if you're into the wacky shenanigans with quirky characters that anime tends to provide, you might get a kick out of Beast Wars 2nd and Neo. This episode included.
Love hath no fury like a Seacon big-horned.
Good lordy.
I've tried to watch Beast Wars 2nd before, and I only got a few episodes in, but the description of this episode is just so fucking wild that I might have to give it a second chance.
I gotta grab Beast Wars the second. I think I have Beast Wars in Neo, but I don't think I have Beast Wars the second saved.
If no one has anything to say, shall we crack on to favorites?
Yes, we shall.
Yeah.
My favorite is also from Cybertron, and it is the episode Guardian. This is one of the latter episodes of the show where they're leaving the planet Gigantian, which is in some other dimension that they have to go through a rift to access. And, you know, they get up to some wacky shenanigans, and Galvatron shows up and he fucks shit up, and I think this is about the time where Starscream gets big and then dies. But this episode in particular is not to mention it in the same breath as Code of Hero or anything like that, but it's also another episode with a quite heroic sacrifice, because I'm going to be honest, I'm going entirely off memory here. There's some rule to the rift where, like, Vector Prime has to get out of the ship and like have two timelines going at the same time or something like that, and he ends up dying in the process, and it's a really, really emotional ending to the episode, and it kind of solidified him as one of my favorite characters, especially in this show. So I just hold it in a very high regard because of it. When I watched it as a kid, I definitely shed a tear for our beloved Vector Prime. But yeah, that's why it's my favorite.
It's okay, because he's coming back this year, Back to the Future. But
Oh, he's back in Chug form.
Ori! I've come back as a marketable third-party toy! Sorry. But, I'm so excited
Oh,
for
I
that
thought
thing.
you were talking about Age of the Primes. I'm sorry.
No, let's talk about DeLorean.
Yeah, Mastermind Creations,
DeLorean,
Vector
Vector Prime.
Prime.
I'm excited for that thing.
Does anyone have anything to say about this one?
Evidently not.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, our next favorite is Scorponauts.
Well, this one's just another oldie but a goodie. The animation got outsourced for this episode to I don't remember, there's another studio, so it looks like
honestly, the
incredibly
animation
good.
style, the very, very unique animation style for this episode, almost led me to put this one as my standout.
I also just really like the plot of this one and the fact that we get to focus on a really unique array of kind of a really unique cast. Just focusing on all of the beast mode, or the beast formers. And then, of course, Skylinks being Skylinks is always amazing.
I believe the word is magnificent.
Magnificent, yes.
Magnificent.
Don't worry, guys. You should think what Skylinks would do. If Skylinks would do it, you're probably good. It's probably good enough. But yeah, I just also kind of like the idea that I don't know, it's kind of a fun idea to have Unicron 2 and Grimlock. I don't know.
What's your opinion on Unicron being built by a little monkey man?
On the one hand, it definitely goes against the classic. It definitely goes against the whole the original thought about Unicron being a god that has been established in most of the other Transformer media. But I do think it's kind of interesting into having these other greater beings outside of just the Transformers and Cybertronians themselves, and really even outside the Quintessons. It's kind of interesting that there's just more creatures out there. Makes it feel more like kind of a Wild West, or a more populated version of space.
Did they ever explain if Unicron was built by just some guy, then why was the Matrix able to destroy him?
I don't know if they really explain that.
It's kind of a big oversight. Are there a bunch of other things that the Matrix can stop? Is it I mean, it can't stop the sweeps apparently, but
I don't know if that's really explored that much
or is it just vibes based
in the G1 cartoon? Because the Matrix doesn't even stop this. I think it's Torque Buon or something. I think it's this energy guy's name. It doesn't even stop him. He just gets
But it stops the hate plague.
Yeah, it stops the hate plague. Because I think it's literally just Grimlock just flips a switch and then this he just disappears. It's kind of funny.
Was this Grimlock's last appearance?
Yes, it was the last appearance of all the Dinobots.
Oh man!
Dang. Guess the other one. The other one I come on here was when Grimlock grows a brain. It's another great Grimlock episode.
Indubitably.
But
And we can
Yeah.
thank this episode for Addis Makama Predaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that one shot
this
of
episode had
Predaking.
some very stylish shots for Predaking. And Abominus too, to a lesser extent.
It makes you wonder what the rest of the show could have looked like if this one studio was in charge of it.
Yeah. It's really... Also, we need more Monkey Man. We need Monkey Man to come back in like mainline Chug. We're not gonna Chug Monkey Man.
Yeah, he should have been like he should be packed in with like Arbulus or something.
I wonder what like a TF1 version of like Primacron would look like actually, or like a modernized take on him.
He's just a guy in a suit and he's green screened in.
Because like I get that like now it's just like canon, like gospel that Unicron's like a god thing, but it'd be kind of like he's just essentially god, like a god. But like it'd be kind of interesting to revisit the idea of what if he was just actually built by somebody else. Because I don't like I said, I just don't think that idea has been explored since this episode.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something cool to revisit, especially now that like a bunch of other season 3 concepts are getting, a second wind. Like Quintessons are fucking everywhere these days.
Yeah, they definitely made a comeback. That's for sure. The throw him in the Shocked.
Skuksoid is now a household name.
Skuksoid.
You can't go grocery shopping without hearing about everyone talking about what's Skuksoid up to.
I thought you were gonna say Slizardo.
No, Slizardo's not in the comics, bro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, every time we visit Skuksoid, Robert Kirkman locks the fuck in, and we get an amazing Skuksoid adventure.
Good lordy.
I love Skuksoid. We should do an entire episode on Skuksoid. The whole thing is just all Skuksoid all the time. Anyway, I think that's it on this episode. Next is Runestone's favorite.
Yeah.
When promo images of Transformers animated surfaced, we of course were subjected to the whole "ruined forever" mantra. My memory's fuzzy, but I'm guessing fans thought the art style was either too ugly or made it look like the series would be too childish or something.
In fact, Animated did ruin it forever by introducing us to animated fans. Heyo. Waka waka. I'll be here all week.
Zowie, welly. It definitely was. I think it was an acquired taste. The art style. At least it was for me.
Well, while the pilot managed to win a lot of people over, I think it was this episode, The Thrill of the Hunt, that for the most part put those fears to rest. This episode is set 50 years in the future in Detroit, where a small space bridge crew led by Optimus Prime fight off various threats from the Decepticons.
Wait, 50?
Yeah, 50 years in the future.
The pilot said the 22nd century, I think. Or was it the 23rd?
Well, either way, they fight off various threats from the Decepticons to human supervillains. In this episode, a series of blackouts and a chaotic muscle car causes Ratchet to have PTSD flashbacks to his time in the Cybertronian Great War. Sure enough, the muscle car is revealed to be the bounty hunter, Lockdown, who Ratchet encountered during the war. A bounty has been put on the one who supposedly destroyed Megatron, Optimus Prime, and it's up to the other Autobots to save him, with Ratchet struggling to face his past. Rather than
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm looking on Wikipedia and on TF Wiki, and the first episode takes place like 50 years before the rest of the show, which is in the 22nd
So
century.
bad I was on TF Wiki earlier looking up what Skunksoid was.
I'm sorry.
Rather than me going through the whole episode, then you say your bits after, for this one I thought we'd discuss each element together. Firstly, this episode does a lot to explain Ratchet's jaded and grouchy disposition. The flashbacks show that while he was firm on the surface, we see a gentler side in his interactions with RC, whom he was sent to recover. He's soft-spoken and reassuring, especially with her concerns regarding his EMP generator, a device that basically provides anesthetic for Cybertronians.
Oh, I see how that would work. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they're intercepted and captured by Lockdown, who punches one of Ratchet's horns off. And while aboard Lockdown's ship, RC suggests Ratchet use the EMP to wipe her mind, thus preventing Lockdown gaining crucial access codes that she has. Ratchet naturally objects to this. Lockdown catches them, and in the ensuing struggle, the EMP overloads and fires. While the two Autobots escape, we see the blast has strongly affected RC to the point where she doesn't even know who she is or where they are. Ratchet's reaction pretty much says it all. This would be tragic no matter what, but the fact that it happened to someone Ratchet formed even a small bond with just makes it all the more heartbreaking. And the scars run pretty deep, hence why Ratchet isn't willing to share his experiences with others. It's also clear that his hesitance to rescue Optimus from Lockdown, at first, is out of fear rather than any sort of vitriol or apathy, which makes him more sympathetic than he otherwise would be. Of course, Ratchet comes through, and by the end, he's willing to open up at least a little.
It's not like I like you or anything, Baka. That's my Ratchet impression. Did you like it?
So anything to add on Ratchet's side of things?
Again, I don't. It has been it's I haven't seen animated since like COVID, so I am a little rusty on like how things actually went, but it really is cool. I really enjoy like a lot of the flashback scenes on Cybertron where we get to see like what they were like before they joined up with Optimus's crew. So it's nice to it's just nice to see like younger, fresher versions of these characters, and see how they evolved into what we know them as and what they would later become. And then, if I recall correctly, sometime in season 3, he ends up trying to save RC again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, in This Is Why I Hate Machines, and as well as the finale.
Yes.
But if we don't have much more to say on a Ratchet side of things, let's talk about Lockdown. He is a bounty hunter, technically neutral, but more often than not, Decepticon affiliated, since they apparently pay him better.
I met a bounty hunter once.
Sorry, what?
I've met a bounty hunter once.
Want to share something to the class?
It was at a convention. I met Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh.
He just grilled me why me and my girlfriend weren't married, even though we weren't dating a year yet.
For animated, Hasbro initially wanted a version of another bounty hunter, Death's Head, from the Marvel UK Transformers comics, but Copyright's a bitch, yes? So, we got Lockdown. Alongside Lugnut, he's one of the show's big breakout characters. For good reason, he is a great villain. Lockdown's whole shtick is collecting trophies in the form of weapons, accessories, and even body parts from his targets, which he grafts onto himself, hence his asymmetrical appearance. There's concept art of Lockdown with a more Frankenstein's monster aesthetic, all hunched over and misproportioned, before they streamlined his design to reflect his businessman persona. But yeah, in the flashbacks, he acquires Ratchet's EMP, and in the present day, he takes both Prime's axe and grappling hooks. The other big thing about Lockdown is, in contrast to most of Animated's villains that tend to be very comedic, he is, for the most part, played completely straight. You might get the odd moment of dry wit and sarcasm, but that's about it. He is the epitome of what TV tropes refers to as faux affably evil. He's generally soft-spoken and, as part of his businessman-like nature, acts civil, which only serves to highlight how sinister he is. Lockdown hunts his targets with such ruthless efficiency, and it's clear he views other Cybertronians as little more than trophies and upgrades, as reflected in this line. Wait, I know you. EMP generator, right? I'm not that good with names and faces, but I never forget a trophy. Just the casual callousness in which he says that. Ugh, he's such a slime ball. I love it. Now, this isn't even getting into what we learn about him in season 3, by the way. He's no slouch in combat either, as he swiftly takes down most of Team Prime. Prowl gets the drop on him, which Lockdown actually shows respect for, foreshadowing their interactions later in the series. Ratchet bests him too, since A, he learned the concept of playing possum, and B, after everything Lockdown's done, Ratchet ain't holding back.
I'll take you all on. But yeah, Lockdown is an amazing addition to the wider Transformers mythos, and it's really telling just how much of an impression he made by the fact that he was made the fucking villain of Transformers 4, of all things. Like, imagine going back to 2007 and telling people, oh yeah, the villain of the 4th movie is this character that doesn't even exist yet because he got so popular. Of course, Age of Extinction Lockdown isn't anywhere near as memorable as his original form, but it still speaks to the strength of the original character. I just wish some more of that shone through. But yeah, Lockdown is amazing, and it's kind of a shame how underused he's been since then. So I guess you can't really improve on perfection.
Yeah, I don't really know to have a whole lot other creative to say other than he's just Lockdown's just a really phenomenal character.
If you have the deluxe animated Lockdown and Ratchet toys, the EMP generator that comes with Lockdown is compatible with Ratchet.
In theory. In practice, not so much. Or at least on my copies, it doesn't really work out that well.
But anyway, in regards to Ratchet confronting Lockdown, part of what quelled fears of this show being too childish is that Ratchet inflicts quite a bit of cold-blooded torture on Lockdown for revenge, zapping him with his magnetic powers, reacquiring his EMP by ripping it off of Lockdown's arm and using it to overload Lockdown's ship, causing it to crash.
It's amazing what you can get away with on these sorts of shows.
Well, the thing is, we've talked before about how media tends to have mixed attitudes towards revenge, with some frowning upon it in how it can corrupt people. Here, it isn't really treated as the morally incorrect or correct course of action. It's just something that happens in the moment. It feels like a natural conclusion to the story, and it's cathartic as hell to watch in this context.
Yes. Yes, Ratchet, kill him. Kill him good and dead.
Take him out behind the woodshed, Ratchet. Give him the old Yeller treatment.
Finally, we've talked previously about how awesome animated Optimus is, and this episode makes a good case for that, as it shows he's more than just a commander, but also a friend, showing an approachable and personable side. He tries to get Ratchet to open up, but Ratchet initially shuts him down. I also like this exchange. Are you finished? Apparently I am. It shows Optimus can take a hint, as it were. It's sad, but you could also argue that Optimus doesn't anticipate that Ratchet's PTSD actually runs pretty deep, hence why he doesn't want to talk. It's even reflected in the final scene where Optimus admits he has a greater understanding of what Ratchet went through. On his end, Ratchet confesses that it's not that he doesn't want to remember, he has to, for those who can't. So you could say both get development in this episode, and it ends with them talking things out.
Yeah, they get a much better understanding of each other.
It's small moments like that that make animated as great as it is, in my opinion. I know from all the hype it gets, some might consider it overrated, and sure, if we were to look into it hard enough, maybe. But after everything I brought up here, can you really blame us?
Only a little bit. Only a little bit. Honestly, there were probably a good dozen episodes from this show you could have picked, and I would not have argued with you.
True that. But shall we move on to least favorites? Shall we put on our angry faces?
Grrr.
Angry
Okay.
faces, more like my angry face that season 4 didn't happen. I so wish we would have got our boy Cosmos.
Yes. So my I do feel like it's a bit of a shame that all of my picks came from two shows. I had two picks from Cybertron, and the second pick is from Transformers Prime. It is, of course, the season 2 opening, the 3-part Orion Pax. Basically, this episode deals with a memory wiped Optimus Prime. I don't really remember how season 1 ended, but I think he ended up using the Matrix on something, and then he lost his memories.
If I may, he uses the Matrix to put Unicron, who, spoilers yet again, is part of the Earth. And
I totally forgot Unicron was in this show. Okay, yeah. So he has his memories wiped, and he believes he's Orion Pax again. And Megatron is like the first person he sees, and convinces him that they're still friends. We learn a bit of their backstory, and their backstory is nowhere near as good as it was in Transformers 1. Let's be honest. But basically, the crux of all of this to me comes from the fact that fucking nothing really happens in this, because Optimus is like he figures out pretty early on that Megatron isn't telling him the whole truth. Like, it's pretty obvious to him. So he's just constantly in this, oh, what do I do? Hemming and hawing bullshit that is just completely uninteresting to watch. And then they get fucking Jack Darby to go to Cybertron in a little spacesuit, and has this key or whatever, and he goes to fucking Vector Sigma or some shit. Well of all sparks. Who cares? It doesn't matter. To like re-download Optimus's last save file and re-upload it into his hardware. And he's like, "Oh, I'm Optimus Prime again. Thank you, Jack Darby. I really enjoy your mother." And he's an he's an Autobot.
Whoa! Where'd that last bit?
Oh, you don't know about that?
The I really enjoy your mother part? Whoa, what?
Yeah, they're a thing, dude. They're canon.
Oh, God.
They're canon.
No wonder Transformers Prime shippers are the way they are.
Long story short, this whole 3-parter, rather an anticlimax after what you've just survived. Yeah, it's because it doesn't fucking matter to the entire plot of the rest of the show. It never comes up again, and like, what was the point? What was the point? Like, so like Prime is supposed to be this like plot heavy show, and sure, there's filler episodes and everything like that, but this wasn't billed as one of those. This was the 3-part fucking season 2 premiere. Like this, like you would expect this to be like, oh, this will have serious ramifications for the rest of the show. No, it fucking doesn't. It's pointless and it's stupid and nothing. They don't even do anything interesting with it. Like, they just dangle some keys in front of your fucking face and be like, ooh, isn't this a fun idea? And the audience is like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Let's see what happens. Oh, a whole lot of fucking nothing. Go home.
So I'm guessing the energy you had was specifically saved for this slide.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't hate this 3-parter, but I do get your criticism, and I think it ties into your commentary regarding Optimus Prime in episode 18, where
Yes, exactly. Because like it's not like these episodes are like bad per se. It's just like Prime was supposed to be this like really ambitious show. And you can tell that from like the animation and the style and the tone and all of that. But it just constantly shits on its own potential. And honestly, I don't understand why the show is as popular as it is, because
shippers.
Like especially season 2 of this show, it's just like a whole bunch of fucking nothing. Like, sure, there's some interesting stuff in season 1, season 3, end of season 2, you can say, but come the fuck on. Like, this show is boring. Maybe I need to give it a second chance, but that's the impression that I've had for the past few years.
Yeah. I'm kind of weird with Prime, where it's like I kind of just don't really like the Prime aesthetic when it's used for actual Prime characters. But then when like somebody else, like FunPub, takes a Prime, like a Prime mold or something, and makes their own, like makes something different out of it, like, oh wow, that actually looks really good.
Yeah,
it's the most weird ass backwards paradoxical thing, but I don't know why. I like the Prime aesthetic best when it's not used for Prime.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand it. I don't know. It's just like the idea of Prime as a show is a lot better than actually watching it.
Well, Prime also kind of got screwed by the whole aligned continuity thing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's supposed to be connected to WFC, FOC, but like, not really, because we didn't actually tell the writers to do that. And like, yeah, that kind of made it awkward.
Yeah.
I think I said in episode 18 that what would have made for a more interesting climax is if Megatron actually succeeded in destroying the key to Vector Sigma. And
was it actually Vector Sigma? I just pulled that name out of my ass.
No, it was Vector Sigma.
I did not actually remember.
Well, but like as I was saying, if Megatron destroyed the key, which would have resulted in Optimus getting his memory back, instead the rest of the show is Prime learning to be a Prime again.
Right.
In fact, you know what piece of media is almost touching on this right now? Skybound Comics.
A little bit. We'll have to see what they do with it in the future. I hope they don't fuck it up like this show did.
Yeah.
I
Sure, if they ever
mean,
I feel like if they ever brought DF Prime back, they'd just make the entire show about Knockout. Because I'm pretty sure Knockout's the only character that like 50% of Prime fans actually care about. All the shippers just should be themselves with Knockout.
I actually like a lot of the characters in Prime. It's just they hardly do anything particularly interesting with many of them. At least we got a good Ratchet episode. Wah!
what, Stronger, Faster?
Yeah, I like that one. It's funny.
I mean, I do get your disappointment. But again, I still can't really hate this episode that much. I mean, it's like competently made, and
it's more like, it's like I said, like these episodes like aren't strictly bad. It's just like the best example I could find of like an episode that has most of Prime's problems as a show and just feeds into it, you know? Like it's an example.
and the whole thing about not having any ramifications isn't 100% accurate in that you know, Pax was instructed to uncover archives of various Cybertronian technology, which leads to relic hunts throughout season 2.
I was strictly talking about like character arcs and shit.
I guess in that respect, I do see your point, and you know there is definitely a struggle there with you know, the Autobots trying to bring Pax back. What else? I mean, I do like the slight realistic touch of Jack Darby having to actually wear a spacesuit on Cybertron, because usually in other Transformers cartoons, humans show up on Cybertron and they're somehow able to breathe. But here, no, when Jack goes to Cybertron, he actually has to wear the spacesuit.
Imagine like a new Transformers show where it turns out cosmic rust is just regular rust, and it just doesn't happen on Cybertron because there's no oxygen. And so everyone's like, "Oh, we're all gonna die!" Like, I could imagine like a funny episode where they're like dealing with rust and they're like acting like it's like this death sentence plague, and the humans are like, "Oh no, we have like rust be gone for that shit."
We're gonna have I just can't wait for the episode where they have to do we get Transformers Prime Skuxoid.
All Skuxoid. We just need a Skuxoid spin-off show.
Yeah.
On fucking AMC or something.
No, it's the History Channel. Even better. Ancient Aliens.
No, it's like a reality show. Put that shit on TLC. In between episodes of My 600-Pound Life.
Oh my god. Now, after My 600-Pound Life, Skuxoid.
The Skuxoid Show.
My 600-pound Skuxoid.
Adult Swim should make a bid for a Skuxoid show. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a little spent on Orion Pax, so
fair enough.
Someone else want to get all riled up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you have 3 slides for this next episode. Holy shit.
I don't know. I only did one side. I almost got a little zealous, but I honestly don't blame you with this one.
For the record, I added in those extra slides, and I think, well, you'll soon find out why down the line.
No, I think it's definitely worth it. I definitely 100%. But yeah, let's get into some Carnage in C minor. One of the most infamous episodes of the entire original G1 cartoon. Just for the whole premise itself just being completely ridiculous. It's like a magic.
What's the name though?
Oh, the name is great. The rest of the episode, well, it gets kind of ridiculous, but not in the same way as the Decepticon Raider in King Arthur's Court, where it's like fun ridiculous. This one's just kind of like ridiculous.
This sucks.
It is cool that my boy Broadside is in here quite a bit. I do love him, even though I do like the toy design better than the show design. But yeah, the whole kind of premise about the sound thing, people, and the way, especially the way like the sound people talk, it's just like it's kind of hard to take them seriously.
We have to sing everything.
And then there's there's the elephant in the room, and by the elephant in the room, I mean the tiny Devastator in the room. Yeah, this episode is just so laden with errors. If you played a drinking game, for every time there's an animation error, I think you'd be sloshed like 10 minutes in. Probably no, 5 minutes in. So yeah, there's tons of them. Like the Bone Crusher deciding he's gonna help the Autobots for a change.
That should have
There's
been the
tons with
default.
like, yeah, these. I remember I think the freaking Broadside and his son.
What would you like for Christmas, little boy?
And then you got Defensor and his son over here. Yeah, there's just so many errors in this episode. It's out of control. Not the animation errors are part and parcel of just the G1 cartoon, but this episode just goes to. Oh, I didn't know we hit 3 minutes. Whoops. Yeah, it was 3.
Spoiler!
Spoiler! I'm sorry, but yeah, this episode it gets a little crazy with that, but honestly, the plot it just kind of isn't. It's just kind of boring after a while. It's like, oh, they get the super frequency, and it's like, yeah, they have this whole other civilization of people who like do everything through music, but they're just kind of boring. It's just not as interesting as some of the other kind of weird, like, goofy side episodes. Y'all got any thoughts?
Not really. I haven't seen this episode in over 10 years.
I mean, you're not missing a lot other than just the goofy animation errors.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just kind of is, like, it's just very, unless we want to do a drinking, it would be fun to do this drinking stream where we all just take. Not that I even like that much, just take a shot of animation error.
Maybe for TFCon.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I may not be able to do that for TFCon, but
I wouldn't be able to afford it.
So I have to actually vend. That might be rough. But
you just get swindled out of your best toys because you're so drunk.
Yeah. But that's kind of about it. Like I said, the actual plot of the episode itself is kind of unremarkable. It's really just, it's mostly just the animation errors and how ridiculous the sound bit is.
Yeah, honestly, this was probably on my short list of episodes to pick as well. Like, but But along with Child's Play, that one was another one that probably could have made it.
Which one was that one again?
That's the one with like it's like the one with the worst animation errors, like even worse than this one. It's the one where they go to the planet where the aliens are big and they're like the size of toys to them.
Oh, dang! I forgot about that one. Bet they do some really funky ones in season 3.
That was season 2, actually.
Season 2?
Yeah. That's the putting this in Chugcratic submissions, but it's the one with this shot.
Take a look.
So if we're done with this awkward silence, shall we move on?
I'm not quite done with the awkward silence, but okay.
Also, so I saw your picture of the rumble covered in bird crap.
Yes, Runestone, let's regale us with your least favorite episode.
All right. What? We've talked about several episodes of the original cartoon at this point, and honestly, what can you say about the original series that hasn't been said already? Alongside the Marvel Comics, it's one of the most influential pieces of Transformers media ever. And even outside of the franchise, it's a show that very much embraced the Saturday morning cartoon spirit. The basic premise alone is a ton of fun. 2 warring factions of giant shape-shifting robots? Sign me up. And the episodes themselves are cram-packed with sci-fi action and adventure, with some laughs and the occasional emotional moment, all complemented by a colorful cast of characters, brought to life by mostly great vocal performances. The animation quality varied, but that's no different from other cartoons of its era. I won't argue that there are better produced and written Transformers series out there. It's just the original has this campy charm that keeps you invested and puts a smile on your face. Of course, as with most shows, it has its studs. 2 of the biggest punching bags are Bot, and as we've just discussed, Carnage in C minor. Whether it's obnoxious guest characters, stupid writing even by Saturday morning cartoon standards, and in the case of Carnage in C minor, abysmal animation. And yeah, all very true. But at the same time, with how heavily bashed those episodes are, it's kind of hard for me to get mad at them or feel anything about them at this point. After a while, you just become numb to it all. Instead, for my pick, I've gone with the Season 2 episode, Crimzeek. Excuse me for a second.
Crimzeek!
Hate!
I love John Crimzeek. He's my favorite character in all of Crimzeek.
The plot of this episode has Megatron accidentally create Crimzeek, a being made of pure energy, and upon seeing the chaos it causes, Megatron decides to weaponize it against the Autobots by transporting it to their base, where it proceeds to wreck everything. It's basically a distraction. While the Autobots deal with Crimzeek, the Decepticons proceed to drain the Earth of its power with their new energy magnet. Honestly, the plot isn't any more or less absurd than some of the others in this show. So, this is one of the more comedy-driven episodes, and in that, it's safe to say they made Crimzeek intentionally annoying. He's this mischievous electric gremlin that causes the characters endless frustration and suffering, but in a way that we're supposed to find funny and, ironically, endears him to the audience, or at the very least makes him entertaining. In theory. Unfortunately, there are two major problems. Firstly, the animation isn't great. We're not talking Carnage and C minor levels of bad, but most of it is very choppy, which I honestly feel hurts a lot of the timing surrounding at least the physical comedy. Things like some of the chase sequences, Crimzeek shorting out the Autobots, destroying various electrical items. I get what they're going for. I just don't think it lands as well as it should, save for a brief moment with Ratchet that's actually pretty fast and fluid. If the rest of the episode was like that, not only would it create an actual sense of energy, but it would better emphasize why this little bugger is so hard to detain. He's just that lightning fast. But, on to the bigger issue. The fact that Crimzeek shouts his own stupid-ass name in that obnoxious, high-pitched voice over and 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 over. It's like a good 30 to 40% of the episode. It's barely tolerable when he becomes a giant and his voice deepens.
He's a little Pokemon.
I mean, I'll admit that writing something as purposefully annoying for comedy, it's a fine line, as you want to get the point across while also not driving away the viewer. Crimzeek wreaking havoc is one thing because at most we're just watching it happen. However, him repeatedly screeching his name like he's a fucking Pokemon is, of course, relayed through sound, meaning the audience is subjected to it as much as the characters are. Yes, I know what people find funny, annoying, etc. is all subjective, but it wouldn't surprise me if others had similar problems. I would bring up other dumb moments like the Autobots forgetting to insulate Omega Supreme before pursuing Crimzeek, and Megatron not anticipating that his ultimate weapon might return to destroy his energy magnet. But again, the show in general had its fair share of stupidity, so I can't really complain. I'll admit, there are some genuinely funny moments, mostly in dialogue, such as when Crimzeek wrecks an electronics factory in Japan. The chief engineer enters the factory floor, encounters the Autobots. Oh, the Autobots, very honored. You did this? Also, remember how in a previous episode we talked about how G1 Cartoon Optimus Prime had levity to him? We see that quite a bit here, like when Blaster ends up creating more of these little shits, and Prime says, "Oh, here comes that sinking feeling." And who knows, you might laugh at some of the aforementioned stupidity, like Sparkplug trying to capture a pure electric creature with his bare hands. Also, yes, for as divisive as Crimzeek is, I won't deny he's made an impact, with him either being homaged straight up, with him either being homaged or straight up featured in future Transformers fiction, including fucking Kiss Players, because nothing about that line could be sacred, apparently. He's also been included as a packing accessory with multiple figures. Plus, his design does fit the electric gremlin motif, the vibrant yellow, countless jagged edges, the lightning bolts, the jack-o'-lantern-like face. Not a bad design, in my opinion, but that one thing. That one fucking thing.
Crimzeek!
I don't know if it's my absolute least favorite episode of the original Transformers cartoon, but damn if it isn't within the top 10. And hopefully, after this, I won't ever have to hear that voice ever again.
But what if What if Kremzeek was just the pre-evolved form of Tornatron the entire time? Isn't Tornatron like mostly the same thing?
What meme were you expecting at this point? Come on.
Dude, we need like the evolution. You go dun 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 dun. Your Kremzeek is evolving. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't understand why this thing gets so much fucking merchandise.
I mean, it's very merchandisable. It's it's like Rudestone said. It's a small, like cute little gremlin thing. People like small, cute little gremlin things.
It's not cute to me. He looks like he would hurt if you picked him up.
It's like, yeah. It's like Nintendo looked at this and was like, oh yeah, finally. And then they made Reggie Lecky.
In true Saturday morning cartoon fashion, this segment should have ended with us all laughing in unison while the music kicked in and it fades to black.
Read the laugh track. Oh, I guess that's not quite it, is it?
I'm pretty sure I have a ID armed laugh track on my computer somewhere. I just can't play it because I have my headphones in.
Yeah, it is crazy just how like the tone can like just change the series that much. Because I really do kind of feel like Kremzeek and like Call the Primitives are kind of similar in that like the main plot is about this like energy draining creature, but it's just crazy how much like it changes because in Call the Primitives they actually like take it seriously.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're a little gremlin, and we're like, oh crap.
Come season 3, the tone of the show did get like slightly darker. Probably helped along by the fact of how dark the movie got.
Yeah. But
yeah, one big takeaway from this episode is I'm gonna have to rewatch a fuck ton of these things before we ever talk about TV shows ever again.
Yeah, same. If we have to rewatch all the shows, not just the shows that I picked.
We should do that as like an event on my server or something.
That'd be fun.
That's kind of what I hope you lot would be doing before this podcast. Especially since it's been a few months.
True. You're right. You got me there.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Who, me?
You know, we're gonna do the Kiss Players audio group listen to.
No, fuck it, I'm out. Go on. No.
We're doing a full-on redub in English. I've been practicing my Marissa Fairborn this entire time.
Oh my god. That would be amazing.
Oh, Optimus, you're so handsome. I'm sorry, Miss Fairborn, but I only have eyes for Jack's mother.
Yeah. Then we just have freaking of course we can't forget the main character of the Kiss Player stuff, Skunksoid. John Skunksoid.
John Skunksoid. No, he's the spinoff.
I mean, Kiss Players 2, Skunksoid Boogaloo.
The Skunk Chair.
Good.
Okay, I think Runestone says it's time for Chugcratic submissions. This is the segment of the show where you can go onto my server, linked in the description, and every time we do an episode, about a week before it goes live, we'll ask y'all to submit us some questions, and if they are interesting enough, we will answer them live on the show. The first one is from DN Prime 17, a regular on this show. He asks, which Transformers shows would you erase from memory? Prime Wars and War for Cybertron trilogies, as well as Earthspark, are out, as they are too easy picks. I'd say Superlink, maybe. Terrible show, great toy line. The toy line can stay.
Is it bad if my first thought was RID 2015?
No, you can argue that. I wouldn't blame you.
I just really do not care for the whole the whole thing, honestly. The toy line looks terrible. The show I like it, just the whole thing just looks like crap. I really would not miss anything by just throwing the entire show out.
I got the
Maybe with
Thunderhoof
the bathwater.
toy. I got the Thunderhoof toy not too long ago. He's pretty cool. I got someone else from that toy line. I can't remember who though. Shit. Who did I get? Anyway, Rootstone, what would you delete?
This may or may not count, but I'm going to go with something you're probably not expecting. The Generation 2 cartoon.
I almost said that one to be funny, but I thought it would be too easy.
I was gonna say, does that even count?
Because the Generation 2 cartoon, for the very few people watching, is just the Generation 1 cartoon, but they added in a whole bunch of CG transition effects in order to be hip and down with the kids in the 90s.
Dreadwing is punishing. His Gatling gun is ill.
Oh my god. Yeah. Don't ever count on getting Pyro and Clench because they're actually cool toys.
That doesn't rhyme.
I don't know.
Do better.
Sure.
I think. Okay, Needle Nose Enthusiast, also a welcome regular. He asks, which show do you wish had more time in production?
Energon.
I would go so far as to say the Armada dub. I would prefer a stronger Armada dub.
Yeah, I think Energon's just the easy one.
What else? Trans Tech.
Oh, Trans Tech, yeah.
Oh, that's an answer.
Or actually, what about Super God Master Force or Zone or something?
Really? Wait, what's wrong with what do you have against Master Force?
Master Force, I think, is okay. It just kind of sometimes feels a little generic kids anime, and it would have been cool if they had cooked up some extra spice for it.
Oh yeah.
Zone, just I think from where it was the one that said barely any time at all, and they got
honestly, real answer probably Prime. Just do it over again.
I was expecting you to say that after everything you said about
live up to your potential. Apply yourself.
Can we that, or we could just throw out the entire Prime plot and just do the original idea of just the Star Seekers instead? That'd be cool.
Be interesting.
Just have the entire show be about Thunderclaw and the pirates. Actually, original ideas in my Transformers show.
Seb asks, which show would have been better as a movie or live action adaptation? Honestly, I don't think any of them would be better by being live action. I think it would just make it harder and make it worse.
Well, you can't really cram the plot of an entire show into like a 2.5 hour film, really.
There are comics I would love to see is like shorter, like a movie, like a shorter like movie run would be really cool. But I don't know about shows.
Yeah.
Mostly,
Yeah. What show would I want to watch? It's live action. I mean, I guess there's the answer of Prime again because it's the closest one to the live action movies in terms of like general aesthetic and tone.
Yeah, it is trying to be very cinematic.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just feel like that's a bit of a cheap answer though, so I'm not entirely satisfied with it. But that's the best I got.
The funny thing about this question is when you think about it, there were plot elements from individual episodes of the original cartoon that were adapted into the live action films themselves. The whole thing about the Autobots being exiled in Dark of the Moon, Megatron's master plan.
Okay. So what if we treat this question as what episodes would we want to see adapted into live action movies? Like as like just the standalone plot.
Only Human.
Budget director, I see.
Only Human. Just like old Snake and like, yeah, no, that would be awesome. As it actually.
I like how you have that one like ready to go.
That one could have made my list. I think it just didn't. I just didn't have room to fit on there, and I wanted to have fit something like Beast Wars on there, so I did. But Only Human, just like I gotta love old Snake is great. Having the Transformers have to deal with actually being human, yeah, that would be a fun movie plot.
Also, the bit about also in both Dark of the Moon and The Last Night, Cybertron was pulled in close proximity of Earth, just like in the Ultimate Doom and the Rebirth.
Yeah, and Dark of the Moon had that whole humans working with the Decepticons thing.
Yeah. The Rebirth would also be kind of cool as a movie, but if I had to choose, it would definitely be Only Human over the reboot, over the Rebirth.
My vote goes to Web World.
Remember, is that the one where Galvatron gets sent to like the therapy planet?
Yeah.
And, like, they can't cure him.
Yeah. And he fucking blows the place up. No, I think what's the episode where they go to Paradron?
Fight or Flee.
Fight or Flee. I think that one would make for a pretty cool movie.
The Return of Optimus Prime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first he has to like die and stay dead for starters.
What about the episode? I was gonna say the episode with Car Bomb, yeah.
Which one? There were a few. Thief in the Night, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
Imagine I don't know, Five Faces of Darkness.
You know, it'd be really funny if they did one of those episodes, but then they got Sacha Baron Cohen to like bring back his dictator character as the villains are. Hello, Dr. God. I'll give you my oil for mostly peaceful purposes. Yeah, that would be amazing, actually.
I would watch that. Yeah. So our final question comes from Cryptid Person, who asks: pick a Hasbro toy line for Takara to make the cartoon for, and then pick a Takara toy line for Hasbro to make the cartoon for. For example, what if Hasbro made the cartoon for Victory and Takara made a cartoon for Classics?
Bruh, can Takara just make like the Dawn of Futures Past toy line story as a cartoon? I don't know if that's cheating.
Well, frankly, I wouldn't really trust Hasbro to make a cartoon for any Takara property right now.
Yeah. Probably phone it out to ChatGPT.
Stable Diffusion.
But yeah, I just wish I love Takara if they do for them to do Dawn of Futures Past or even better, Beast Wars Shattered Glass. That doesn't really count though. That's because it's not as much of a toy line, but I would love to see Beast Wars Shattered Glass get an adaptation of some kind.
So, I mean, the obvious caveat here is that Takara doesn't actually make the shows, so it'd just be insert Japanese studio here. But I think a Shattered Glass anime would go pretty hard.
Shattered Glass would be cool. I was specifically referring to the Beast Wars one, where it's the classics characters crashing on that one. I just love the idea of that one. But yeah, Shattered Glass in general, anything would be great.
Yeah, I would definitely. I don't know if this is really in the spirit of the question, but I think it would be cool if there was a live action Overgear movie.
See, I'm the opposite. I want Transformers versus G.I. Joe, but in the full cartoony, hokey vehicle glory. But I understand I'm in the audit. I'm the exception for that one. I know a lot of people like the Overgear stuff.
One thing I would like to see come over from overseas is I don't give a fuck about nebulons. So I would much rather have the Japanese understanding of headmasters to just be the default.
I kind of like the nebulons in the Rebirth, but I also am kind of okay with the Japanese version, explanation of it too.
Could you imagine if there was this Power Rangers-esque adaptation of Master Force?
That would be interesting, but
or at
also
least the general idea of Master Force.
I feel like it would. I feel like that sounds amazing in paper, but if somebody tried to make that, it would be horrendous.
I mean,
I feel like Western filmmakers cannot wrap their heads around how tokusatsu actually works. Even though this would be anime, but it's still a very tokusatsu inspired.
I think it'd do better now than it would in the past.
I mean, I know it would do better in terms of the fans, but I'm more saying in terms of the actual studio and creators and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think I still think that in Western,
it.
when it comes to Western film creators, people just do not care about tokusatsu at all. Or if they do care, it's because they freaking hate it.
Yeah. Brimstone, do you have any thoughts?
Not really.
I don't know if you can hear that, but it is absolutely pissing outside.
Really?
Yeah. It's really loud in here. Anyway, if that's all we got, that's all we got. That's the end of the episode. I hope the audience got something out of this. I will admit, probably not our strongest episode.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just not as big into the shows anymore as I used to be. It's more the toys. Mostly because Transformers has just not had a lot of great media in the last couple of years, except for TF1, and then I think Skybound I've heard is pretty good.
Yeah, the first couple arcs were pretty good. I'm still sort of trying to see where Kirkman's going with all of this, but at least he writes some good Skuxoid stories.
Skuxoid? Did he actually put Skuxoid in Skybound?
Yeah, he's in Void Rivals, and he gets his own issues sometimes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's why I like him so much, because of how prominent he is in the comics.
Man, I can't wait for the Death's Head Skuxoid crossover comics. When are they gonna do that?
He's a real fun character. Like he's like spoilers for Void Rivals, but currently he's like leading a rebellion against his original. So like Skuxoid can like divide like almost like mitosis, but like they have to be like cut apart and shit to do it. And the original Skuxoid Alpha, has been collecting all of his Skuxoid clones. And the Skuxoid that we've been following in Void Rivals has led a rebellion against him and overthrew him.
Dang, it's gonna metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I wish we had more stuff like that, but like outside of the comic, like an animated
Yeah, that's
space. Can we have something interesting and like avant-garde, kind of like?
like honestly, I'm mostly just reading Void Rivals for Skuxoid. I don't care that much about what's going on the Sacred Ring.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably wrap up this episode. Join us next time for another amazing and professional podcast episode where we will talk about interesting things and various concepts. This has been Kit Catastrophe, the headmaster of the School of Athenia.
This has been the Dean of Critique, Rune Stone.
And this is the Dean of Finance, G1 Scorponaut.
Class dismissed.